Welcome to another Art City Tattoo class. My name is Chris Sage, and today we're going to cover all the different design principles that you need to consider before you compose a tattoo for your client. All of us here, we are in a journey to beginning something new in our lives. Whether it's, you guys are wanting to learn how to tattoo, the people on the other side of the screen, they also want to learn to tattoo. I'm also starting a journey where I'm creating this YouTube channel. So we're all stepping into something new, and we're all stepping into like a very uncomfortable space. And that can always lead to discomfort. It always leads to discomfort, and it always leads to uncertainty, and it always leads to anxiety. So just to give you guys an idea, like last year I wanted to teach and I wanted to create this YouTube channel, and it's taken me a full year of working on my mindset in order to actually sit here and with a state of inner peace, knowing that what I want to create is going to happen. And I think what happens to a lot of people, that they get on a journey, whether it's learning to tattoo or just learning something new, they start, but they don't believe it's going to play out. They don't believe it's going to happen. So I invite you guys to sit with yourself and really think and imagine what you guys want your life to be. Like, don't just dive into like, hey, I want to learn to tattoo, but really sit down and like write down what your dreams and your goals are. And you want to sit with this like every single day, and you want to read it back to yourself. I personally have an album of pictures in my phone that I use as a sort of like a vision board type of thing. And I look at them every day, and I've been looking at them every day for 1 year, and it's taken me one full year to actually not feel like I have to look at those images in order for me to believe what I'm actually trying to do with my life right now. So it does take some time to cultivate your mind in a way that you actually feel and you believe that what you want and what you desire out of your life can actually become true. And it's not until that moment that you feel that way that you're actually going to be able to do it. Doesn't matter how hard you try, doesn't matter how much you study, doesn't matter how many videos you have. I've had people who have come to me to learn from me, have become apprentices, and they've turned around and left. And the determining factor that I see in these people is that they don't believe they can actually do it. Your reality can only become as far as you can imagine. So it all starts in imagination, and your reality will grow and will become as big as your imagination is. So the first and most important thing is to work on your imagination, to work on your mindset before you decide to take on a new skill or a new challenge in your life. So that's just something that I want to leave you guys with today, because I was thinking about it on the way here, and I realized, like, holy shit, it's been a year since I've actually been cultivating this mindset, and now is that I feel like, okay, like this is it, this is gonna happen, and there's this sort of inner peace about it. Before now, I would have these like up and downs emotionally of like, is this really gonna happen? There's a lot of doubt, a lot of anxiety, and it wasn't doing me any good, but it's also part of the process. So it's okay to feel those ways, as long as you're constantly priming your mind to believe that you can actually make it happen. And it's important to make it happen consciously, because, for example, when I started tattooing, this is something that I did unconsciously, but I actually did that. Like, when I would look at other tattoo artists, I would always compare my art to the most famous, the best tattoo artists in the world. I never compare myself to anything other than that. And because I did that, I feel like, because I set such a high standard for me, I wasn't satisfied until I got there, and I was constantly, and what happens is then your actions will align with your standards and with your beliefs. And it was because I, compare myself to those guys, is that I feel that I've come very close to being as good as those guys, or at least I can be in the same room with those guys, but it was because I always set that standard for myself. So please always set as high of a standard as you can. Even if you're not achieving it now, your actions are going to align with this mindset, and you will become whatever it is that you believe in your mind that you want to become. Okay, so now let's dive into design. One of the most important things about design is, and I'm talking about tattoo design because ultimately we're, as tattoo artists, we are commissioning for other people. It's not like you're sitting in your own studio, kind of just creating out of your own imagination what you want to do. No, you're actually taking someone's idea and you're bringing it to life. So the most important thing about design, or at least the first most important thing about design, is understanding your client and what they want. Like, you have to really get them. You have to be able to talk to them, have a conversation, see what they're like, see what they, what they like, what they don't like, maybe kind of get an understanding of the type of person they are. And obviously this is something that comes with life experience, so it might be a little bit more difficult if you're a younger person, but everybody here in this room is 30 and over, so we've developed this ability to sit with somebody and understand, like, okay, this is this type of character, and I know what this person might like, what they might not like, but really being in that mentality of like, this is not for me, this is for the client. And then our job is to take their idea and make it the coolest fucking possible tattoo that you can make it, and the best possible tattoo you can make it, according to your own taste, your own abilities, and your own knowledge. So, and then some ideas don't make sense. Some ideas, like, this is something very important because clients, I don't want to disregard clients as not being creative, because a lot of people are creative, especially people who get tattoos. They're very creative people. Having said that, many clients are very creative people. That's why they want to get tattoos on themselves. They like art, they like creativity. But having said that, they don't have the technical knowledge. They don't understand what it actually requires to make a tattoo, or what something may look good or may not look good. They just have an idea. And a good example of that is, the typical guy that, I don't know, they want a mermaid and they want the head to start here and wrap around and go around their back, and then the tail here, or they want Jesus fighting the devil and they want it to go a little bit around their body. Like, it doesn't make sense. You have to really understand, like, okay, you obviously need to create an image on a visual plane, and these things that you will learn as you go. But, an image has to go on a visual plane. It doesn't make sense for it to wrap around like that. They want to create meaning by having these wraparounds, but these wraparounds don't really make sense as tattooing. And that's just one example. It could be that, it could be something else. But the fact is that you have to take their idea and you have to be able to discern, like, okay, this is something that I can actually make happen, or look, this is not something that we can make happen. This technically speaking, this doesn't make sense. However, tell me, what is the gist? Like, what is the source of what you want to convey? Because maybe they think they want to get a mermaid, wrap it around like that because they just simply love the ocean. But if you get to the bottom of it, you can be like, hey, so if you like the ocean, how about we do this? This will make sense. We can maybe make the mermaid just go on your chest, or go on your front torso, or go on your forearm. You can take their idea that doesn't make sense and actually make sense out of it, but you have to get this to the source of what they actually want. But it's really important that you understand that, because, and it's happened to me before, and it happens to a lot of people. Laurita had the same situation too, that if you don't know how to discern that, you can go on a tangent and you can spend so much time trying to make something happen that doesn't make sense, because you want to just give them your vision, their vision, and it just doesn't work. So be very mindful of that. So another thing, how do we start designing? What is the information that we need from the client, right? So the information is, what's the idea? What do they want to get? And why? You can even go as far as saying, like, why? What does this mean to you? Because maybe, like I said, maybe they want a mermaid because they love the ocean, but maybe the real meaning is the ocean. So you can sort of direct them in a different way if it doesn't make sense, or if, you know, it doesn't align with your style of tattooing. You can sort of kind of direct them in whatever way is more convenient for you, but you have to know what's the idea and what it means to them, okay? And then number two that I think is really important, and I think this is something that most people are very set on, is the placement. You know, people want the tattoo, a lot of the times it's more about where they want it than what they want. So it's really important to understand the placement. If they're not 100% sure on the placement, I always tell people, like, just close your eyes and imagine yourself, like, see yourself and see, like, where do you see this tattoo happening? And usually, like, they'll get it right away. Like, oh, okay, it would feel right here in my arm, you know? I've had instances where I've tried to tell people, no, let's do it on your leg or whatever, and we end up putting it somewhere that they actually don't want it, and ultimately they always default back to where they want their tattoo. So it's really important to know the placement. And the other reason why it's so important to know the placement is because you need to create a template. You know, you cannot design a tattoo if you don't know where it's going, because it's like designing a painting for a vertical canvas and then you get a horizontal canvas. You're like, okay, so how am I gonna make this work? I have to redesign the whole thing, the whole concept. Nothing works. So that's super important. And then I always try to ask them for examples, because I want to know what style of tattooing they want to get. And usually once you're a little bit more advanced in your career, you're going to develop a style, and most likely people are going to come to you because of the style that you do. But even within, for example, me, I have several things that I do, you know, several different styles. I can do a little bit of black and gray. I do some color work. I do like pop culture stuff. I can do portraits. I can do stickers. Like, these are things that, I mean, I can do more stuff, but these are the things that I enjoy. These are the things that I put out for people to see that I can make. So even within my own niche, like, I want to know, like, okay, what is it that you like? What's the style? So usually it's a good idea to ask them for an example. Show me some reference. Like, do you have an image that you want to go off of? And when you get the reference, it's also important to know what do they like about the reference. Because sometimes, you know, if they send you a reference of a shark and maybe they don't really want the shark, what they want is the fact that the tattoo is done in stippling. And the tattoo is done in stippling. It's not the shark. Maybe they just want, I don't know, a car or whatever. But, or something else. They want flower. You're like, if you don't really ask them, you could think, okay, these people want a shark. So you have to really get to the bottom of it. What is it that you like about this reference? Oh, I like the way that it's placed on the arm. Oh, so you like the placement. Okay, so these are the things that you wanna, what's up? Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the class. If you made it this far, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and you hit the bell button, as I will be dropping the next parts to this series in the following days. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.